The temperature-controlled vacuum mount includes a quartet of Peltier elements beneath the gold-plated mount. This allows for control of sample temperature. During exposure to the light bias, the sample may heat up. The temperature control facility allows for cooling of the sample, and it also allows one to explore the EQE, spectral responsivity of devices at various temperatures, from 10 to 60 degrees. The temperature-controlled vacuum mount also includes a cross-formation of vacuum inlets used to ensure that the sample is well electrically connected to the mount. When one mounts a sample on the stage, one should use the small pennies provided to cover the vacuum holes not in use to obtain an optimal hold on the sample under test. To the right of the mount is a position for holding the reference silicon or germanium diode in place for system calibration. A thumb screw allows one to hold the detector in place. In terms of electrically connecting to the device under test, 2 probes are provided. The particular probes here are designed for use with the motorized XY stage and have no fine adjustment for the height of the probe, unlike the standard PVE 300 probes. And they also have 2 BNC connectors. In this 4-way Kelvin probe situation, one can measure the voltage across the device. For top and back contact devices, one need only use 1 probe. The temperature-controlled vacuum mount serving as the back contact, to which one can contact through a point to the rear of the mount using the green and yellow cable provided, and one can attach the same to the thumb screw on the probe in use. One can then simply gently loosen the clamp for the probe and lower onto the sample to make electrical contact. The output BNC of the probe is then connected either to the transformer using the thick cable in the 474 transformer mode with care, and if one uses the 497 AC or DC mode, one connects using the thin BNC cable provided to the 497 amplifier. The magnetic base allows locking the position of the probe in place simply by rotating the switch to the rear of the probe. Of course, when actually performing this, one should illuminate the vacuum facility to hold the sample in place before probing. Where one seeks to measure a sample having 2 front contacts, such as this, we will require the use of a second probe. No longer does the mount serve as an electrical contact. We will link, in that case, the 2 probes using the shorting wire. We can remove the connection from the mount, and to reach the second probe, I will move this probe to the rear and connect to the position on the second probe. We should mount a shorting stub to the BNC connector of the second probe to ensure that the probe is shorted to the ground plane passed to the second probe. Again, we simply manipulate the probe position to make electrical contact of the device here considered, and we connect the output of the probe without the shorting stub to either the transformer or the 497 preamplifier as required. The temperature controlled vacuum mount is controlled by the VC TE20 unit. The vacuum feature is enabled by simply switching on or off the vacuum supply as required. Prior to switching on the cooler, one should power on the water flow, in which case one should see a movement of water in the reservoir. One can then switch on the cooler as one desires. The LCD displays, presently with the toggle switch set to chuck, the temperature at the vacuum chuck. The LCD displays, with the toggle switch set to chuck, the temperature at the temperature controlled vacuum mount. The target position, the temperature which we are attempting to attain. The target value can be changed by pulling out and then turning the rotary switch as required, pushing in to lock the set value, and one can return to chuck reading to view the status of the temperature controlled vacuum mount.